There are many crime podcasts. I guess they call them crime dramas that exist out there in the world today. There's this whole genre that has come out where we can watch and listen and get the behind the scenes of different deep, dark stories of murder and tragedy and all kinds of crazy, disturbing things. Now, obviously, in each of these shows or podcasts, whatever you want to call them, in each of these situations, each of these stories, they're clearly the main character per se, the human being that is involved clearly has some morality issues, right? They tend to have a belief that they are and we are all one. One individual, not one together collectively, but that we each are an individual human being, a belief that we are just one. We are here today, we are gone tomorrow, ashes to ashes, dust to dust. Now, besides the just the acts that we see in these particular situations, besides just the fact that these acts tend to be horrendous and absolutely horrible, besides that, what's even worse is there's actually an enemy who loves for us to think like that. There's an enemy that exists out there in the universe that his best trick, the best thing that he's ever done, the most accomplished mark that he has on his goals list is to convince you and I that he doesn't exist. That things like spirituality, like the battle between good and evil, like those are not real. You see, he takes great pride in convincing you that your life only has value in the now and that your actions today only affect you in the now. You see, I used to believe this for the longest time, for nearly 30 years of my life. I believed that it was all about me. Survival of the fittest. There was no spiritual side. We are simply flesh and bone, ashes to ashes, dust to dust. We came from the earth, will return to the earth, and everything that happens in between is simply to fuel our progression as an individual. And when I used to believe that, and I was a firm believer in that, when I used to believe that, I had morality issues. You see, my morality issues included I was quick to jump into bed with whoever I could jump into bed with. I was quick to take away from whoever I could take from. If it helped me get where I wanted, or if I felt like it was going to take me to the next level, then I made those decisions, no matter who got hurt along the way. Now, you see, as I continued to make those decisions, my life started to reflect those decisions, right? I started to reach a point in my life where I was completely and utterly broke. I reached a point in my life where I was lonely and felt invisible. I reached a point in my life where I was filled with depression and ultimately suicidal. Why? Why is it that when I served self, I came to this point? And the reason is this, and ultimately I've been able to learn this, and I want to share this with you. I think it's super strong. You see, until you step outside of yourself, you can't step in for others. Until you step outside of yourself, and you cannot step in for others until you realize that you are a part of something bigger. That there is a spiritual side to you, that it's not just this physical come and be gone, that your life actually has value, that it actually makes an impact, that it actually matters. Until you realize that it's bigger than you, until you step outside of yourself, you simply can't step in for others. And see, I was such a selfish human being. Everything was about me. And quickly and over time, everyone around me dropped off. Everyone around me began to disappear because I couldn't step in for others. I was too busy worried about myself. The second thing that I really want to make sure that you understand this morning as we move forward, as we've been talking about the three legs to this table. You see, in order for you to rise in 2020, in order for you to really achieve the levels of success that you know that you deserve, that you have in your heart, in order for you to extract the greatness that exists inside you, we must rise on all three levels. We must rise in mind, in body, and in spirit. And if we grow in two of the three levels, but not all three equally, our tables will tip. We will not be able to support the success that we dream of, the life that we hope. We have to find the balance between mind, body, and spirit. So as I share this with you today, it is in hopes that if your mind is closed to the idea of being a spiritual human being, I just simply want to open it just a little bit. Just a little bit, because there's something else that I need you to understand, and it's that fulfillment and joy ultimately come from the impact we make on other people's lives. You cannot find fulfillment and joy in serving yourself. It simply is not possible. So when you put those two things together, fulfillment and joy come from the impact we make on other people's lives. And until you step outside of yourself, you can't step in for others. What I'm telling you is it's impossible for you to find fulfillment and joy until you step out serving others, which requires you to understand that it's not about you. You are not one standing alone, but you're actually an integral part of this network, this human network, these human beings all over the world. And the decisions that you make, they actually matter. They make an impact. Every decision you make makes an impact on friends, family members, co-workers. There's a triple effect. You see, you are a valued piece of this puzzle. This huge puzzle that once complete, we can see. We can see the true image. We can see all of the pieces. Right now, it's too big for us. Our minds can't conceptualize it. But truly, you are a piece of this puzzle. You achieving the highest levels of self that you can possibly achieve. You extracting out the greatness. It makes an impact in other people's lives. You see, understanding that you are a spiritual being, when you start to tap into that understanding, when you start to when you start to get that your life is not about you, but it's really about others, then once you do that, then at that point, you're going to have to feed it. You're going to have to start to feed that spirituality, just like anything else. When it comes to our mindset and we're raising our mind, right? We study, we read books, we feed it healthy musics and literatures and videos and so on and so forth. As we're developing mentally, it takes work. When it comes to developing physically, we have to go out, we have to run. Shout out to Pam. She was like jogging in 34-degree weather yesterday, right? You have to get out there and we have to work. We have to fuel it. You have to lift the weights, or you have to do the walk, or you have to play the basketball, or whatever exercise, whatever it is, right? It takes work. Well, your spirituality is the same way. It's no different. In order for it to develop and grow and you to become the best version of you that you could possibly be, you have to put in the work on your spirituality. So how do I do that, Glenn? How do I work on my spirituality? Well, there's multiple ways that you can do it. Obviously, there's good reads. There's a book that I could share with you. It's called the Bible. If you don't have one, I'd be glad to send you one. Just shoot me a message. I'll send you one today. My wife will package that sucker up. We'll get it right to you. But there's books that you can read to help dive in and understand your spirituality a little bit better. There's also serving others. When you actually go out of your way to lift a hand for other people, that increases your spirituality level. The more people you serve, the more lives that you can impact, the more hands that you can shake, the more leg ups that you can give. That's how we increase our spirituality. It's how we vibrate on a higher level. That's why step 5 of the morning 5 is to send out an encouraging message. I'm trying to increase your spiritual connection. Extract the higher power that exists inside of you. The third, and there's many ways you can increase your spirituality, but I'm just giving you a couple. But a third way is through meditation and prayer. Taking some time away to just be thankful for the things that you have in your life. To ask for blessings on the visions that you have for the future. To spend time in meditation, to spend time in thought, to spend time in prayer that increases your spirituality. We move like this. We're constantly on the move, from an email to a text message to a Facebook feed to a notification to a kid that's crying to a spouse that needs something to something we have to get done at the job, the boss, the demands. We got to jump in the car. We got to do this. We got to jump over here. We got to do this. We got to answer this phone call. We got to respond to that email. We got to do all these things. We move like this, like this, like this. It's hard for your spirituality to increase. It's hard for you to make that connection if you're constantly go, 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 go. Take some time in meditation and prayer. Develop yourself on a spiritual level. You see, you have a creator. You are here by intelligent design. Once you start to understand intelligent design, you start to understand that, like these aspen trees that on the surface look like a bunch of individual trees, actually underneath the surface, they found that this entire patch, thousands of acres of aspen trees, they all have one root system. One root system that is all connected. It just doesn't look that way. On the outside, it looks like we're all individuals running around in multiple different directions, but the reality of it is you are here by intelligent design. You have a creator, and we are all connected. And in order for you to tap into that spirituality, you're going to have to carve out the time. You're going to have to feed it. You have to feed it the right literature so you can understand it a little bit better. You're going to have to feed it with, your time and meditation and prayer. You're going to have to grow it. It just doesn't happen naturally. You're going to have to grow it. You see, I want to make sure that you guys understand something. As we talk about spirituality, I'm not talking about religion. And as we talk about spirituality, I'm not talking about church. Because religion and church are both things that were made by man. And your particular religion or your particular church or your particular beliefs, that's you. That's you. I have mine. I believe in Jesus. I believe that he's the Christ. I believe that God sent his son down here to die on the cross for my sins. That's what I believe. But ultimately, when I talk about spirituality, I'm talking about God, the creator, the designer, the intelligent design that made each and every single one of us as individuals, unique human beings, but yet all connected through one entire root system. You see, you are powerful, my friend. It is so powerful. But in order for you to build that, in order for you to develop that, in order for you to grow on that, it does require you to think outside of you. Just like the mental, the physical, the spiritual.